What's going on, Archivists? It's your boy Varni, and we are back today with some more gameplay, again, from the Yeti webcam locals. These were last week, I believe the week of the 14th, so we did not do well in this locals at all. This was our round one against Tristan. We're doing Tristan today because, again, trying to get the boys at locals into Grand Archive. One of them expressed an interest in Tristan, and I said, what better way to tell you about the game than to show you the matchups that I played. You can see the power of these decks yourselves. So if you guys like this video, please do drop a like, drop a comment letting me know what you thought, and also subscribe so that you know when future videos come out. But let's pop into it. So y'all know the deal, playing this back at 2 times the speed. This was almost a 50-minute match. So yeah, we're gonna try to speed through this today. I started off my turn 1 with just the Stalwart Shieldmate. I see the Spirit of Wind. I'm like, all right, I don't really know, but I just want this thing here so that if he decides to attack, he has to attack into it, and I get some floating memory that I get to level up on my next turn. He did drop the Windbless Lookout on enter, getting that prep counter, and then the Asian Protector to bounce it back to hand so that he can use it once again. I just go straight into my Lorraine level 1. I say, all right, cool. This is looking like Tristan, you know, Windbless Lookout. We just got to go into level 3, baby. Let's keep it going. So here I decide to play the Hasty Messenger. She's going to get me some card cycle. And I believe I have in hand one card that I've really been liking, which is the Combat Training, which has a class bonus for floating memory. And it's going to give my Hasty Messenger +2 attack. So I can swing into this Asian Protector, which is a beefy 3/4 for 3 attack with Hasty and then 1 attack on my Sword of Seeking. Discarding the Flame Sweep, I didn't think about how useful Flame Sweep could be in this Tristan matchup, but for what it's worth, this matchup, from what I've been learning, is tough. It is something where they just kind of have the answer for what you're trying to do, and they can prevent you from gaining value. So it didn't matter at the end of the day, but I probably should have held this Flame Sweep in hand. I know for next time. So he does go for the GCR. And now drops down a, what is this, Black Market Broker, which gets him more prep counters because Tristan loves their prep counters. He chooses to swing into the Hasty, removing my card filtering, which is fine. You know, it is what it is. We got to do it. I'm like, do I just want to go for GCR? Do I want to go for Clarent? Clarent doesn't necessarily help me in this matchup, but I figure I might as well if I'm going to try to turbo into my level 3. So here we go for another Hasty in hand that we had in hand. We're going to take the swing, try to remove some bodies. I believe Black Market Broker is too big for me to try to remove based on what I had in hand. So I'm just going to swing at face. Same thing with the Windbless Lookout. Are they both 3 life? Yeah, they're both 3 life. So definitely really tough to deal with those early game if I don't have the right cards in hand, which for what it's worth, I run Savage Slash, but I apparently don't know what that card is because it's always there when I don't need it and it's never there when I do. So he gets to level up into the Tristan level 1, which gives him more prep counters. Well, he doesn't have to take the prep counter, but you definitely want the prep counter. He then dungeon guides and I'm like, oh no. Oh no. I'm like, but it's fine, right? He's losing hand advantage, right? No, of course. I know that it's not, but he has the 4 prep counters, so this is actually a really good dungeon guide. It banishes 2 cards that he may not need. He gets to go into Tristan level 2, which says if you have 2 or more prep counters, draw a card. If you have 4 or more, draw 2 cards. So it's essentially a free level up in terms of card economy. He then Dream Fairies my Hasty, so I can't activate it again. And then I just eat a ton of damage from allies. Remember that Flame Sweep that I trashed earlier? Yeah, we're regretting life now. We are most certainly regretting that decision. Perhaps I had 2 Flame Sweeps in hand this game. Yeah. All right, cool. So we had the extra Flame Sweep. So this Lorraine comes in for massive value as it comes in for, I believe, a total of 5 attack. And I get to draw 4 cards. And you think that sets you up really good, Chief? Look at that. You just refilled your hand. You have so much influence. You are so good at this game, bro. No, no, not in the slightest bit, unfortunately. So he goes for the Windwalker boots here. This is going to give him a prep counter at the end of every turn. Essentially what this says is become a pain in your opponent's ass at the end of every end phase, or at the beginning of the end phase. He then plays a Fairy Whispers, allowing him to glimpse 3, essentially look at his top 3 cards, reveal, put them back in any order, top or bottom, any amount, anywhere, then reveal top card. If it's wind, he gets to put it into his hand. So we pay 3 for the dungeon guide here. This is where we end up getting Stifling Trapped, which is unfortunate. Means we don't go into our level 3 and we don't do shenanigans. So I just say, all right, screw it, dungeon guide, go ping him for damage. He doesn't want you to do your job. That's fine. You can still get me some damage in. We can still come out of this game fairly decent, right? Right? Drop a flame rune, get 2 more damage in. I'm like, all right. I mean, I'm good. I feel like I'm still doing pretty good, right? Right? So now he does get to go into his Tristan level 3, gets the 2 ominous shadows. He's gonna activate the, well, I forget what the card is called. Shadow Ripper, Shadow's Claw. I think it's Shadow's Claw from the material deck. Shadows is, I don't know. It's something. There we go. Yeah, it's Shadow's Claw. He gets to activate the Shadow's Claw from the material deck because he has 4 more prep counters. And of course, you know, he can basically sling attacks here. Now, don't ask me why I did this here. I think I just got in my head about how much interaction that Tristan has. And I'm like, all right, well, I should play it now before I'm in the attack step. So I play the Deflecting Edge, preventing the next 3 combat damage that will be dealt to Lorraine. But it doesn't matter that I did that. It really doesn't, because now he's just going to slice and dice. And he, instead of, you know, doing all, like, instead of everything that he could have done, he's just like, all right, well, I know I'm going to prevent the next 3. So I'm just going to do this instead. That was a really bad misplay on my part. Again, I really don't know why I did that. So he prepares 3 on the slice and dice, which I believe is going to come in and do like 2 damage, but because it hits, it gets to give an extra copy. And then the tokens, the ominous shadows, I should say, get to come in and do some more damage. So I eat a ton of damage that turn. I'm like, all right, how many cards in hand? That, what do I have? How do I want to do it? I should have went into the level 3. I should have. I believe I had a total of like 8 cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I'm so used to paying for my level ups by banishing floating memory. I've never hard leveled up. I've never been like, all right, well, I'll just banish 2 cards to level up, which is one of my biggest problems playing this deck. If I had hard leveled up here, I would have been fine. But instead, I believe I go for a Smoke Bombs, which ends up biting me in the butt. Yep, because this says target ally, not target unit. And that is a very big distinction to make. And you see, I had that Spirit Blade Ascension, so I really could have done some things here. I don't think I would have been able to win, but I would have been better if I just hard went into my level 3. So it is what it is. This Smoke Bombs has since come out of the deck, as we realize. I don't really care to Smoke Bomb any of my allies. I mean, it could Smoke Bomb my opponent's allies that have stealth or something, but I don't really, those situations don't come up, and I'd rather play something like Terrafring for what it's worth, because Terrafring would have helped me on this next turn for sure. So we dropped the Stalwart Shieldmate, and I'm like, all right, I'm good. I can save myself another turn, or so I thought. Blinding Orb, I know he's going to essentially on his, this is basically kill turn for him. I was like, oh, there's only 3 cards in hand. I'm good. I then say, oh yeah, Smoke Bombs, we're gonna banish this. Oh wait, no, this is my my champion. I can't do this. And obviously I don't want to do it on my Stalwart, because then the taunt doesn't matter. So I should have done it on something. At least I would have been able to get a card draw, but it doesn't matter. He's gonna Blinding Orb. I put 2 cards down. He plays the Shadow Strike, and I'm about to eat so much damage because I can't prevent the Shadow Strike damage here. So I'm like, all right, yeah, this is that's it, game 2. So I opt to go second. I'm still also determining when I want to go first, when I want to go second. Obviously, I would like to be able to get that extra materialization, so to say. But I think what I prefer more is being able to declare an attack turn 1 with my hasty, so that I can get my filter going for floating memory. I can get to my level 1, etc., yada yada. He drops the Windbless Lookout and the Black Market Broker on his turn 1. So I'm like, all right, what's the move here? Obviously, I can't remove these bodies, and I don't think my hand was really conducive of anything either. I end up paying 3 for a Flame Rune Swordsman, and I swing for 2 into the Windbless Lookout. Luckily, he doesn't have any cards in hand, so I know he can't reclaim it. I do take damage, but it's fine. We get rid of the Wimbless Lookout. We're getting rid of bodies. Yeah, let's go. He goes for a GCR, gets the card draw, and I'm like, all right, yeah, awesome. He's slow too. This doesn't affect us too much. It does affect us. So Sadie comes down. Unfortunately, because he is not at his level 1, she does not get the class bonus on kill for agility, but it does take out my Flame Rune Swordsman, which is unfortunate because it's not, my floating memory essentially isn't active yet. So turn comes over to us. I do level up into my level 1. Good decision by me. Unfortunately, it's a ghost. It doesn't matter. We never get into our level 3 this game anyways. I believe I just end up passing turn, and this is part of me being greedy. It is part of me being greedy. I believe I had a dungeon guide at this point, and what I should have done is I should have just said, screw it. We're just gonna dungeon guide. And if you have the response, cool. If you don't, nice. I'm going to take out one of your allies. Based on what you have in hand, you shouldn't have the response, and at least I will only neg 1 on that level up, and it does set me up for later turns. But we didn't, we passed. Don't remember what exactly was in my hand, but he does go into his level 1, gets the prep counter. Sadie and Black Market Broker come in for some points of damage, and then I believe he also basically floods the board with allies this game, and I'm like, all right, cool. And we just don't have any flame sweeps because, you know, I'm citing those out for staggering strikes because that's a good decision, right, guys? Yeah. I think I might have kept like 2 or 3 flame sweeps, but I shouldn't be taking out any because I main deck 3. I go for GCR here. So I believe at this point I was trying to math out cards in hand because I did have a Hone by Fire, and I was trying to determine if I wanted to cast that and then go for a dungeon guide, but I wouldn't have had the resources necessary to kick off a Hone by Fire Dungeon Guide Flame Sweep combo. So instead, I just go for Dungeon Guide, which does get Stifling Trapped. Unfortunate, you know, it is what it is, whatever. Kind of expected it to come down. It is what it is. I have the Flame Sweep in hand. I have the resources to play it. And this was probably one of my biggest misplays of this game, deciding not to Flame Sweep because I want to maximize value, even though he presented 3 bodies on board. Granted, yeah, Sadie would have just bounced back to his hand with the ability, but now here comes another Black Market Broker, and now I'm about to eat a hell of a lot of damage, just like the last game. So he sends 2 at me to take damage, and then he sends more at me to take damage. I'm up to 11. I'm really not looking too good right now. I believe at this point, oh yeah, I just hard go into Lorraine 2. There goes my Crystallized Destiny. You hate to see it. So I do have the Flame Sweep. He bounces the Sadie back to hand. That's fine. I get to cleave 3 units and I get to draw 3 cards, which is still really good. We're winning at this game, right? We're so good, right? Right? I end up going for the Stalwart Shieldmate in pass. He is at his level 2. So I'm like, all right, cool. You don't have any allies on board. You're going to have to swing into this. It's going to have to eat the attack. And I should be safe for this next turn. Now he dungeon guides here. One thing I hate in Lorraine is not having any response. So I can definitely understand why Jimmy Lee runs Incapacitates in his deck, because response is nice. That being said, it's not like Incapacitate does anything to a dungeon guide. It only prevents the activation of action cards, I believe. Sadie comes down, swings in, kills my Stalwart. He gets the bonus for agility. The dungeon guide pings me for 1. At the end of the turn, he's going to get that prep counter, pulls 3 cards back to hand. Turn goes over to me, and it's at this point that I'm like, surely he doesn't have another Stifling Trap, right? Surely I am safe from a second Stifling Trap, right? Oh, how wrong we could be. So I go for the second dungeon guide here, and I'm like, any response? And he's like, yep, I'm going to Windwalker Boots, and maybe he top decked it. Nope, I think it was just a reclaim, but doesn't matter. He is going to Stifling Trap it. I'm like, dang it. Dang it. I have all these cards in hand, and I believe I had maybe another Pendragon, maybe another Stalwart, and it didn't do anything. Luckily, I was able to Staggering Strike, which removes 3 prep counters, which is nice, but it doesn't really help me here because he's like, all right, well, I'll remove my 3 prep counters. That's fine. I'm about to eat face. I'm really about to eat face. not taking out those allies earlier in the game was definitely a very big thing, very big problem for me. He's going to get his 2 tokens, and he's got 3 damage on board represented by Sadie and the dungeon guide. He does bounce Sadie back, and I'm like, all right, cool. So now he gets the Shadow's Claw from material deck, and luckily doesn't have the kill this turn. But again, just taking damage, it is unfortunate. Dungeon guide gets eaten so that he gets the agility off of the Sadie, and then I eat some damage off of the Ominous Shadows. So now I'm like, all right, like, what do I want to do? How do I approach this game? Well, we can go into Lorraine 3, but it's just too little, too late here. Banishing the Honorable Vanguard doesn't matter to me. That one hurts, the Spirit Blade Ascension. That one really hurts. Don't have a second flame sweep. So, I mean, even if I did, it didn't matter because Sadie can just put cards down to come back into hand. But don't have the second flame sweep, and I'm kind of just left in lurch. No Ghost, no Spirit Blade Ascension. I've got this Clarent that doesn't really do me anything right now, unfortunately. I'm forced a Cremation Ritual on the Dungeon Guide to try to get some draw power going, because just wasn't seeing anything. Nothing was anything. I swing Crux Knight in. I believe I have 3 swords in banishment, so this is a total of 4 attack. Probably just swinging at face. I'm saying, all right, cool. Hopefully you don't win next turn. Hopefully I have enough cards in hand. I go for the Ghost here that I drew off the Cremation. Bounce my 2 durability, Clarent, no sword. And I mean, this wasn't like a misplay. I should have swung the Ghost into the Dungeon Guide, because why not? Or swing at face, because like, why not? But I didn't. It really doesn't matter here. I die. And at this point, I'm sitting wondering, all right, I've got Crystallized Destiny in hand. How do I get around the fact that I'm about to die right now? And unfortunately, there was no answer. I am going to die right now. So he puts this first attack on the Tristan, and I'm like, all right, yeah, we are going to have to do something with this, because then the shadows are going to follow up on the attack. So I end up taking the 3 from the Tristan, because it was the best decision. I think this was the best way I could have played it out. I take the Tristan, go for the Ominous Shadow, or let the Ominous Shadows go through, let everything else goes through. He goes to swing. Now I play the Crystallized Destiny, because I'm like, all right, that's fine. I can prevent this last one, and I can live until the next turn and try the win. Unfortunately, he had the freaking Ensnaring Fumes to bounce everything back, removing the prep counters, and then can just replay and swing for game. So I will say that, like, this was definitely, I mean, this was a good matchup. You know, I didn't die quick. There were definitely some misplays. We learned a bit about how to approach the matchup, when to level up, when to do things. But from the Tristan perspective, bounce all your allies back to hand, get that last damage in. Good play, man. Good play. Can't do anything about that. It is what it is. Thank you guys for watching this gameplay video. If you guys liked it, please do drop a like, subscribe so that you know when future gameplay videos come out. And also let me know down in the comments below, do you enjoy Tristan? Are you a Tristan fan? Should my boy Jarrell pick up Tristan? Anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to stay tuned for future gameplay videos. And until I talk to you guys next time, peace out.